Hey guys, it's Saberspark, and it's been a long time since I've made an informative video that wasn't the documentary. I think the last time I made a video that was like this was How to Brony responding to haters and trolls, and that was almost, I think, 2 years ago. So it's been a while. Where has the time gone? You can thank Mr. Bronycurious for this video. Last night I was talking to him about content creating, and he said, and I quote, "You can wait for inspiration, but if you wait too long, you'll end up doing nothing." And that hit me. So I've been meaning to do this video in particular for a long time now. And the video is going to be Ponies versus Parents. Ever since I started this pony stuff with this fandom, I received this email a lot. Dear Saberspark, how do I tell my parents that I watch My Little Pony? I've been meaning to answer that question, but it's I've been putting it on the back burner. So today's the day where we answer it, or at least to the best of my abilities. So let's hop into it. This is Ponies versus Parents. So the question we're trying to answer for this video is, how do I tell my parents that I watch My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic? And this can go for family and friends or whatever. You know, how do I tell someone who's important to me that I watch this show? And the answer is both complicated and simple. Let me explain. On one hand, you have the fan of the show who's asking me this question, and they could vary from being an extreme fan who wears My Little Pony shirts, backpacks, shoes, hats, stickers, all of it, just all the works. And they walk around their school or their campus or their home parading the My Little Pony logo. Then you have those who are kind of more in the closet, if I can say that, who don't want people to know that they watch the show. They watch it in secrecy. And then you have the fans who are just casual, who go, yeah, I watch the show, no big deal. And on the other hand, you have the family or friends who can be accepting or just shut you down because they find that stuff to be strange and they don't want any of it whatsoever. It's a threat to them because it's weird. And guys, let's be honest, older male fans of the show My Little Pony, that's weird. Society hasn't gotten to that point where it's socially acceptable yet. It's strange. I mean, we're making progress, we're getting there, but we're not there yet. And that means you have to put up with getting criticism and have to be prepared to defend yourself or accept the punishment of people giving you strange looks or comments. I mean, I'm sorry to say that. I'm not saying surrender. I'm just saying expect to get some grief because that's just how society is. And that's the case here. That's why these people have sent me these emails asking this question, because they're afraid of what their family or friends will think of them for liking this show. And that's a shame. And I'm sorry you have to go through that, but that's the reality of the situation and you have to face it. And hopefully I can help. The reason why this situation even exists is because society has something called gender roles. And that's a term sociologists have coined to show how men are expected to behave in one way and how females are expected to behave in another way. It's also called the pink-blue syndrome. I can only assume that you all have been to a toy aisle before. And what are the two colors that jump out the most? Pink and blue. Pink for the girls, blue for the guys. The blue toys are usually Hot Wheel cars, action figures, Nerf guns, while the pink toys are for females, being Barbie dolls, Dora the Explorer, and My Little Pony. And when you push back against these social standards, you're going to get some flack because you're going against the norm. And most people believe that guys should be doing guy things and girls should be doing girl things. Now, this isn't the absolute. We've made progress. We see girls playing sports with guys. We see guys doing things like cheerleading. And that's more accepted today than it was before. But society isn't quite there yet, and that's why this problem still exists. So I've been going on for a while now, and I'm going to try to answer the question now. And as I stated before, the answer is both complicated and simple, because it depends so much on the individual fan, how they act, and how their family and friends act as well, like what they believe and their fundamentals. That's a huge part of it and can have a drastic impact on the outcome. This isn't a math problem where you can plug the solution in and get the exact same answer time and time again. It's going to have a lot of variety to it because everyone's case isn't going to be the exact same. And that's why this answer can also be complicated. If you are a teenage boy in high school asking me the question, how do I tell my parents or friends that I like My Little Pony? I would say, that depends. What kind of fan are you? Are you an extremist who can't stop talking about the show? Are you a closet fan who keeps it to themselves, who never mentions it in fear of being ridiculed? Or are you a casual fan where you're like, yeah, I watch the show, no big deal? And if that's the case, where you're a casual fan, this really isn't a problem to begin with. A lot of this depends on the behavior of the fan in question. I mean, if you're talking about it constantly, you're going to make yourself a target, especially if you're a young man in high school. High schoolers can suck. They can be so mean to one another. And that's why I'm not surprised that I receive this question so often. If you're in middle school or high school and you're a fan of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, and you want to show it off, prepare to defend yourself. People aren't going to see eye to eye with you, and they will bully you. That's just the way it is. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. That's why I recommend hiding your power level. Don't make yourself a target. Just brush it off. If they find out you like the show, just be like, yeah, I like the show. Who cares? When you make it apparent that you're passionate about it, they're going to go after you. So unless you know that and you're ready to throw down and defend yourself and take that ridicule, I recommend just keeping it on the down low. Get through high school. Once you're past high school and you're in college, things smooth out. I mean, I'm 25. I went through college with the pony stuff. People were like, he's just a fan. Who cares? There are a lot of weird people on college campuses, so in hindsight, I don't think I was the weirdest person there. I've seen the drama team. I'm not going to tell you how to act when it comes to being a fan of the show. If you want to be a diehard, go right ahead. That's your decision, and there's no shame in that. But I'm just saying, if you want to dodge those bullets, just try to hide your power level. That's my recommendation. Now, when it comes to parents, that's kind of different, because those are people you're stuck with. They're your family. They're your blood. The people you know in high school, they're going to fade away. I can attest to that. I've been out of high school for about 7 years now. I barely talk to any of them. Everything's in the past. I have a couple who are my friends, but that's it. Now, parents, that's a different situation because they're your family. You're around them a lot more. They're your father, mother, brother, sister, whatever. And you don't really shake them off like some high school friends. They're going to be around for a long time in your life. And that's why this situation's a bit more delicate. I find myself coming up short with an answer for this, so I'll give you my story. I became a fan of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic in fall of 2011. I was in college at the time, living with my sister and my brother-in-law at their apartment. One day, my sister walked into my bedroom and saw me brushing and cutting the hair of a Rainbow Dash figurine. I was doing this because the original toy had really messy hair that wasn't show accurate, and that bothered me. So you can only imagine the look on my sister's face when she saw her 23-year-old brother playing hair salon with a My Little Pony toy. And like a deer in headlights, I had no answer. All I can say was, I can explain, which I couldn't. Later that night at dinner time, I told my older sister and my brother-in-law about this online group of fans, about the show being good, and they kind of just laughed like it was a joke. But time went on, and I still watched the show, and I was becoming more of a die-hard fan who couldn't shut up about it. One thing led to another, and my family started to worry for me, and they thought, Steven, this is strange, you're making yourself a target. Thank God at the time I was in college, and as I said before, college isn't as judgmental as high school. They're more like, whatever, they'll think you're weird, but that's it. My father thought this was an unhealthy obsession, and I have a bad history with World of Warcraft, so my mom's like, Steven, this is an addiction, get rid of it, blah, 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 blah. I was fighting back, saying, no, I love this show, it's who I am now, which kind of indicates that I was going down a pretty bad path. Fast forward to the future, to today. I've gone through my ups, I've gone through my downs, and I'm now in a comfortable spot where I can participate with this fandom, make videos like this, watch the show, but I don't allow it to define who I am as a person. That was my conclusion. I am a fan of My Little Pony. I'm what you would call a brony, but I won't let it dominate my life. And that's when my parents and family started to accept that weird quirk about me. I don't talk to them constantly about the show every day anymore, I try to keep it to a minimum if I bring it up or if they ask me about it, which goes to show that they love me because they're willing to ask me about something that they don't entirely approve of. That's love. That's family love. Yeah, I still go to these conventions. Yeah, I still do this YouTube stuff. I'm a 25-year-old man. I can do that. That's my decision. But I understand now that I also hold power when it comes to talking to others, whether it be family or friends, about the things that I do. Some things are appropriate, some things are not. I save the My Little Pony conversation for those who are cool with it. And for those who aren't, I don't talk about it whatsoever. That's my decision. And now we come to the end of it, guys. I hope my story can help you. You can draw some lessons from it that you can apply to your own situation. Though it won't always work out. It depends on you. It depends on your family and friends. And there's so many factors that go into what encompasses your particular situation. Your age, your power level, what your family thinks and believes. So there's a lot that goes into it, and you will have to be the one who judges how you act and how you react. So to summarize it up, my recommendation is to know when to show your affection for the show and know when to hide it. To get through the tough times, to realize when a battle isn't worth fighting and it's better to move on and fight another day. To get through high school, to get to college, to get out of college. Because once you become an adult, people can talk about it, but that's about it. And you're an adult, you pay your taxes, you can do whatever the heck you want. If you find yourself alone, go online. There are a lot of people out there like you, looking for support, for friends. And they're out there. They can help you get through the hard times. That's all I really have to say. I wish I could say it in a better way. I'm sure somebody else can articulate this situation much better than I can, but that's my 2 cents on it. And I don't want people to misinterpret what I'm saying, as in, you should be ashamed of who you are, don't talk about it. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just giving you a warning about the cold, hard reality that is society, and how it's not used to older men liking My Little Pony. That's weird to it. No matter how you spin it, it's weird. And until society changes its point of view, that's going to be the case. The good news is that things are changing. Geek culture and gender roles and all that stuff, it's progressing. So there's a brighter tomorrow. But it's not this day. This day we fight! I saw the opportunity, I went for it. But we still live in a time where it's socially unacceptable. You're gonna have to face it or hide it or learn how to cope with it. That's where I am. I cope with it, and I couldn't be happier. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. Maybe I can make a follow-up video. Something tells me I screwed up somewhere and people won't be happy with my answer, but I'm just speaking what's on my heart. Sorry it took me so long to get this out. I hope you all enjoy it, and I hope to make more videos like this because I enjoy trying to be informative and not just silly goofy, smacking pony toys around and being on Brony's React. Once again, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you all next time. Later!